And we're alongside, I'm going to call it the elusive Darren Till. And people who watch the UFC now are going to know who you are. But I'm going to start with the question, where were you before then? Because your name was always around. We never got to see you fight.
Uh, well, when I started fighting Muay Thai, didn't I, when I was about 12 years of age. And then I went pro when I was 15. And then when I got to about 17, I left my Muay Thai gym to sort of transition over to MMA. And I started training at Carbon full time. And I had a few amateur fights and that, but as soon as I had a few amateur fights, I think I had 3 or 4, I got stabbed, didn't I, in my ribs. So I had to talk with Colin and that, and basically said, you need to go to Brazil to it. You know, if you want to make a career and you want to be the best, you got to go to Brazil and, you know, stay over there for a few years and focus and without any distractions. So basically I said, you know, I did what he said and it's worked out. At the end of it's cutting a long story short, I'm in the UFC. So I wasn't like, I wasn't around the circuit, the England circuit, for like 10 years, like a lot of these people. I've seen people who've been trying to get in the UFC for 10 years now. But I think a little bit of it, like I listened to everything Cole said. Like in my opinion, Team Carbon's has got a famous name, and there's no better gym. I'm not just saying it because I'm from that gym. Like analysing Cole as a coach and Team Carbon, it's an unbelievable gym, and everything he's told me to do, I've done. So it's worked out. You know, I'm young and I'm already in the UFC, and I'm ready to take over.
Is a ridiculous question, I suppose, but is the culture in Brazil? It's got to be a little bit different in terms of it. Was that a help? It was because you must have seen the difference in terms of the attitude towards the sport.
Yeah.
How big a help was that?
Yeah, it was a help because you can fight every week out there. It's not like England. It's bigger out there. You know, it's getting big in England, obviously, but it's big. You can fight every week. Like I think it was like 8 fights in 1 year. You know, so I kept fighting, and I was working on what I needed to work on. You know, ground, wrestling.
Is it fair to say that perhaps the level of competition at that time might have been a little bit greater there as opposed to the UK? Because again, we're still fledgling here in the UK. I know it's been around for a little while, but compared to Brazil, you know, you think of Brazil maybe as the home of that kind of thing. Did the style of fighters or the type of fighters, were they any different? Or were they just
I think out of my 14 fight career in MMA professionally, I think I've had about, I'll be honest, 5 or 6 hard fights. The rest were just, I'm sorry to say, bums. And it's the same as, I'd say the level of people I was fighting at the start there was the same here. Like, people when they're starting out and they're meant to be this prospect, they get spoon-fed their opponents, which isn't wrong. You got to build yourself up, but you can't just get, people have got this idea that they need to have a great record and get to the UFC. It doesn't work like that. You obviously need to have easy matches to build your name, but you need to have them hard fights. You know, you need to get beat. You need to have hard fights to know that you're ready. Because we see it all the time. People get to the UFC, they have 2 or 3 fights, and they get cut. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, the level out there, I'd actually go as far to say that English level's better. Because out there, there's a million shows, but they're not that good. Then there's a few good shows where you can fight really good fights, black belts in jiu-jitsu and whatever. But I'd say just the culture of it out there for me. I didn't have any distraction and I knew what I needed to do to get to the UFC.
Do you mind, you know, when you look at the rise of some of the Europeans, Connor comes to example because of the talk as well as the performance. You're flying underneath the radar, I think.
Yeah.
Is that a good place to be, or do you want? It's now time.
At the moment, yeah, because people keep saying to me, like, when are you going to start calling people out? And it's all, it needs to be timed right. Like, I've got better banter than anyone. I can start talking shit better than anyone, better than Connor even. But I can't start calling people out now because people are going to say, hang on a minute, you've been out for a year and a half. Who the fuck are you? That's what they're going to say to me. So I need to get a fight booked. I need to start, knock someone out, which I'm going to do. And then I'll start talking, I'll start calling people out. But at the moment, I'm actually happy that I'm flying under the radar because people are sort of forgetting about me, and it's all good because it's not like I've had surgery, it's not like I'm coming back and I've got a fight on a small show again. I've already got the UFC there waiting for me, so I'm actually happy at the moment where I am.
Surgery went well, recovering
perfect. Nice. I'm back at Calvin. I've been back since Christmas. My fitness is getting back, my weight's dropping, training is really hard, and you know, I can't wait to really focus on my stand-up and my striking with Colin, because I've never really focused on that part with Colin. Like, when I was in Brazil, I only focused on the ground part of things and wrestling. I never even worried about my stand-up, and I still had 14 fights and knocked 8 out. So, can you? I think of it like this. I can't imagine the possibilities when I start, like, actually evolving me striking with one of the best striking coaches in the world, Colin Heron. So it's a scary time in my career. I can't wait.
In a perfect world, when would you be? When would you step back into the game? When's kind of the
I reckon
3, 4 months.
in 2 or 3 months, I'm fine. Like, people say, oh, you need to get on the London show, and I probably could have got on the London show, but it would have been rushed.
Yeah.
Like, I'm only young, and I'm already in the UFC. So why am I gonna rush anything? You know, my time will come. At the moment, you know, the biggest name is Conor. He's having his time. He's doing so much for the sport. You know, everything he's done perfect. And my time will come, and I'll be bigger than him.
We'll talk about a couple of the fights you've had. You know, the fight that really kind of put your name on the map. Not a decision that you probably wanted. You'd want the win, but the fight with Dalby, when that was pegged as, you know,
Yeah.
you look at that fight with a little bit of regret.
No. It was a good fight. You know, Darby's an ex-Cage Warriors world champion, right? Just like Conor.
Yeah.
I showcased in the first 2 rounds that Darby shouldn't have been in there with me. Striking wise, he couldn't take me down and he couldn't strike with me. And I consider my striking to have been sloppy in that fight. And then the 3rd round, I take my hat off. He came like a warrior, like the fighter he is, and he got that round. Should I have won? Maybe, but it was a decision. Dana White even sent us both an email with an extra check in. We got an extra check on top of the bonus. I can't complain with that. You know, it got voted in 2015. It was in the top 10. It was a great fight. I had messages from all over the world, so I'm happy about that fight. You know, I came out. We both kept our records intact. So I'm coming back in a perfect world. I'm unbeaten. I'm young. You know, I already put me in. People might have forgot, oh, Darren, where's he gone? But I'm happy that I'm actually under the radar because when I come back, people will not believe what they're going to see.
Is there any, you know, again, you said you're not in a position where you can be calling someone out, so I'm not asking you to say, oh, you know, that guy.
Yeah.
What type, you know, what type of opponent are you looking at to come back? Are you looking at someone cusping on the top 15? Do you not care? What would be the perfect opponent?
Right now, I don't think I'm in any position to say top 15 or anything, because I've been out for a year and a half. I've had 2 fights in the UFC, so I'm not in it. I know, like, I'm sensible enough to know I can't just call any top 15 fight out. Even though I could beat the number 1 right now, I'm sensible enough to know that it doesn't work like that. You're going to get a lot of hatred for that. You need to be fighting and you need to be active. You know, we can go back to an example as Conor. People could talk shit about him, but he was fighting and he was beating guys. So what can you say to a guy like that? Do you know what I mean? Like, he was backing it up. You know, people like to hate on him and whatever, but he was backing it up, and that's what it's all about. I can't really say nothing now. People go, you've been out for a year and a half. Who the fuck are you? That's what people are going to say, and I don't want that kind of reaction. I want to come back with a bang.
Is that what people are going to be saying at the end of 2017?
I reckon I'll be fighting for the belt next year. At the end of next year.
Against who? Because it's such a, you know,
it's a hard division.
You know, the titles bouncing around a little bit.
It's unbelievable.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't. I've been this year and a half that I've had out. I've had so much time to think in Brazil, and since I'm back here, and you know what I'm seeing is that welterweight is probably the hardest division at the moment. It's just full of monsters, and I'm one of them monsters, and I know I can beat anyone in that division. And even if people keep saying to me that I'm massive as well, like, because I have gone really heavy, I've been lifting a lot of weights to get, you know, me recovering my shoulder, but it doesn't even matter. If I go to welter or middle, I'm still going to fight for that belt. That belt is coming very soon.